Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Unique Sports Talk. Hey, listen, one of the things that we're going to talk about is Shannon Sharp. And by now, most of you guys realize that he's settled the case, and it's been settled with prejudice, meaning that the chick can't come up and just come up with some more bullshit charges for more money. But one of the things I wanted to say is that the lead attorney is going to say why and his opinion on how much he settled for. One of the things I want to say is that I think Shannon Sharp is an idiot, but not because he wanted some box from a young white girl. That's not why he's an idiot. He's an idiot on how he went about it. I don't care about the age. As long as she was a consenting adult, what you going to say about the age bracket, the age difference? Older men like younger women. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just the way it is. But the other thing that is concerning is that at his age, his sexual discernment is pretty much zero. It's pretty much with all the shit that he had to lose. Why would you even, with all the women out there? Let me tell you, pretty women, and this one is a marginally pretty woman. Pretty women are a dime a dozen. You know, a lot of people act like, pretty women are at a premium. That's just not true. Especially if you're a rich man. That's just not true. There's pretty women everywhere. I mean, everywhere. So, listen, when a man comes into his sexual discernment, it's an individual basis. There's no group think. This thing they call dick discipline, in general, every man has it to whatever level he's at. Every man has dick discipline. That's why in the West, absolutely most men don't go around taking box by force from women. We just absolutely do not do it. In fact, we could make a case that women in general are the safest in the West than they are in any other part of the world. We could dispute that if you want to, but it's absolutely true. So let's get off of that. He's just an idiot, and it's going to cost him tens of millions of dollars. But let's let the lead attorney talk about it, so I can shut up. Like, share, subscribe to this channel, Unique Sports Talk. Every Wednesday, I do a live show, but I'm thinking about just doing it off air and just airing it for you guys to hear the replay. Unless I get more people saying, let's do it live, so you might be able to come on. And at the end of this, I'm going to try to shorten this up. I'm not going to go through Lead's whole spiel. I'm going to just go through a couple of segments, and I'm going to put the link to his channel, which most people already know, into the description. And then I have, some of you know, I have another channel called Theme-Based Music, and I have a tune that fits this Shannon Sharp situation to a T. Because, like I said, even before this situation, that men take their lives into their own hands, leaving bitter women behind. And we know what bitter women can do. So without further ado for me, let's listen to Shannon Sharp. Not Shannon Sharp. Let's listen to the lead attorney and see what he says about this Shannon Sharp situation.
Shannon met this girl, Gabby, at the gym. She was 19 years old at the time, and Shannon was like 56. She ended up filing a lawsuit in the beginning of this year against Shannon for $50 million. What was she claiming? She was alleging that when Shannon was at her gym, he was harassing her for her phone number. So this NFL Hall of Fame player is harassing her for her digits, but she gave it to him. Then this girl, Gabby, says, oh, well, Shannon Sharp was harassing me for him to go over to his house. He wanted me to go over there. And then, of course, she went. And not only did she go the first time, but she kept going back. She kept going back. Now, what did she say? She says during this time when she was going over to Shannon's house, Shannon was abusing her. This is what she put in her complaint, all of these allegations of abuse. But she would claim that all this abuse was occurring, and then she would send Shannon Sharp texts like this. You can see Gabby here sends Shannon a text saying, hey, I want to be abused, daddy. So she's asking for the same abuse that she's alleging that Shannon Sharp did to her. She was complaining in her lawsuit that Shannon Sharp was a monster, that Shannon would tie her up. But then what would this same girl tell Shannon in text messages? She wants to sue Shannon for $50 million for tying her up. And then she sends Shannon a text saying, I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me, daddy. This girl, Gabby, was complaining that Shannon would record her having intimate relations with him. But then in her own lawsuit, she admits to having sex with Shannon on FaceTime in front of Shannon's childhood friends like Bucket. Imagine the audacity of her suing Shannon for $50 million for recording them having sex together when both of them know that he's on FaceTime with his friends Bucket saying, hey, look at her, Bucket. I got a good one, don't I? This girl is absolutely ridiculous. But guess what? This girl is laughing at Shannon all the way to the bank. She didn't need to study, didn't need to go to college, didn't need to sacrifice, and now she has generational wealth, more money than probably you and I will ever see in our lifetimes. So let me ask you, was this the whole plan from the beginning? Was it extortion? Well, she certainly got paid. Just look at what she wrote. Here is what Gabby wrote.
Before we get into what she wrote, the lead said a lot of great things here. And the truth of the matter is, Shannon Sharp, like I said, is an idiot. And the setup was there from the beginning. I mean, because, and let me tell you, this is the so-called wisdom of a woman whose, they say, frontal lobe wasn't fully formed because she's only 19, 20 years old. It's just horseshit. She was doing OnlyFans and all kinds of adult sexual activity, probably for a long time. But here's the deal. It didn't matter that she had those text messages. It didn't matter what she begged. Just the accusation and the embarrassment that would go with Shannon Sharp in the full disclosure in a courtroom would be enough to destroy him. Maybe it's not enough for him even to win the case, but it will cost him more than $50 million to drag this shit out just to win this case. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, every little detail, that she could come up with and the ambulance chaser could come up with, it will be laid out bare in the courtroom. And Shannon Sharp would be sitting there looking like an idiot trying to defend herself or having these kind of relations with this young girl. And if there's a jury, it's going to be hard to say you're going to find a whole bunch of juries who can be completely objective by seeing this big burly idiot. And I want to say black idiot, but let's even try to leave a race out of it. But maybe we can't. See this big burly black idiot from the South mumbling his way on a stand, if he took the stand and stood enough to do that, against this lily white, flowery, soft, buttery snow bunny. He doesn't have a chance in hell. She gonna get up there and give him a little, maybe she'll even give a few white tears and shit, white female tears. Man, this guy would be eaten alive. Even if there was a discerning juror who said, I'm not buying this shit, he would cost him $50 million to keep doing it. Well, go. Let's continue.
Wrote regarding the settlement, she says, today I have decided to retire from OnlyFans. Thank you for the incredible support you've shown me over the past few years. This community has given me a life I could have never imagined. Yeah, Shannon Sharp gave you a life you would never imagined. But let's keep going. I'll still be active on social media and have several new projects in the works that I can't wait to share. I'm truly excited for this next chapter. I love you all forever and ever. Oh man, this is so sad. Shannon Sharp is out here retiring OnlyFans models. And here is Gabby's attorney, Big Tony Busby, confirming the settlement of the lawsuit. What does Tony say? He says on April 20th of 2025, the Busby law firm filed a complaint in Nevada, making several allegations against the one and only Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp. Sharp on behalf of our client Gabby. Both sides acknowledge a long-term consensual and tumultuous relationship. After protracted and respectful negotiations, I am pleased to announce that we have reached a mutually agreed upon resolution. All matters have now been addressed satisfactorily and the matter is closed. The lawsuit will thus be dismissed with prejudice. And dismissed with prejudice just means that Gabby is not allowed to refile this ever again. She can make no further claim. By Shannon Sharp paying her all of this money, her lips are permanently sealed. Now,
well, let me stop it there because I'm gonna skip ahead again. Do you see the tone of both the chick and Shannon and Tony Busby? They don't attack Shannon at all because they got what they want. Matter of fact, the lawyer even kind of put like a little admiration in there for Shannon Sharp because he knows he got 40% of this settlement. And he's going to give the chick the other, 60%, and they're going to both go out into the sunset. Now, Busby is already filthy rich, I'm sure. But this chick, her life has changed. And, it just goes to another thing that I think men have to really deal with, that the commodity of box, the value of box, unfortunately to men, has been way overvalued for some women because they can actually skip life and just sell box and become tremendously rich. What does that say about men? Really, what does that say about men? That's a goddamn shame. But you know what? It's just another way of weaponizing the nature of man, and using it against them, right? Because there's nothing that's ever going to change that most heterosexual, and I'm not talking about the alphabet mafia, most heterosexual men or most men in general are sexually wired, and it could be used as a weapon against them. And women have found a way. Now, I'm not beating up women for that. It's just another way. We're in a capitalistic society, and selling a box has always been in the gray area, right? It has always been in the gray area. We say it's illegal, but it's really bullshit. It really is. So Shannon Sharp got his ass ringed for being just a typical asshole. Okay, so let's just skip ahead and get to some more of what the lead attorney says about this situation that will lead to the why Shannon Sharp settled and how much he thinks he settled for.
Craziness for a quick word from our sponsor, Chapter Medicare. If you or someone you love having fun, but these companies are not like that. They cannot take a lot of heat. They cannot take pressure from the community, from their audience, telling them to cancel somebody. And here in this case, you've got a black man who's almost 60 putting apparently dog collars on 19-year-old white girls talking about, I'm going to choke you out and I'm going to destroy your rectum. There's no way that Spotify wants to pay $250 million for that. It's obvious that Shannon Sharp had to settle this case, not for any type of guilt or innocence framework, but he had to settle it for you so that you don't look differently upon him. If he can keep everything that Gabby knows a secret, then you see him as Big Unc. You see him as Shay Shay. You see him as schooling Ocho Cinco. Ocho's writing down all of Shannon's wise words.
And people wonder why they don't get the blessings that someone else. Ask yourself. See, you think you're doing everything right, but see, God know your heart. See, you can fool everybody else, but you can't fool that man upstairs, and you wonder why. Ask yourself.
Yeah, it's true.
Ask yourself
Ask
when you're
yourself,
alone and you by yourself.
You will continue to look up at Shannon Sharp as a wise aunt and not some old dummy who's paying women tens of millions of dollars to put dog collars on them. Just mathematically, just by the numbers, it makes sense. It's really an investment. Shannon says, I will pay $10 million on the front end to get $100 million on the back. pay 15, 20 million on the front end to get $250 million on the back end. That's exactly what Shannon should do. I myself will pay any woman $10 million if I can turn around in the same instance and get $100 million right back. I pay her 15 million to silence her forever and then get a check for 200 million. I would do that all day long. That's what countless celebrities have done in the past. That's what Shannon has done right now. And that's what celebrities and these athletes and people with money, that's what they're going to continue to do in the future. All of the people saying that Shannon shouldn't settle, shouldn't pay this girl a dime, they don't know how the game is played. I can tell you as a 20-year attorney that this is exactly how you do it. Now, let's ask ourselves, how much money did this girl Gabby receive? If we look again at Tony's announcement of the settlement, of course, there are no numbers that are shown. Almost always in these settlements, the terms of the agreement are confidential. You remember when Puffy settled with Cassie? No one knew how much Cassie received until Cassie had to testify on the stand and disclose that she actually got $30 million. So the question is, how much did Gabby receive? Well, I will tell you that in my personal educated opinion, I believe that Gabby got $33 million. Now you say, well, Lead, how did you come up with that number? Well, let me tell you, we have to remember that Gabby hired an attorney. She hired Big Tony. I promise you that Tony does not work for free. We lawyers, we attorneys, we charge on cases like this on a contingency basis. That means that we only make money.
All right, so I want to just stop it for a brief second now. Here's the details. Contingency basis is a key word in all of this. And now I'm going to let him finish speaking, because contingency means the lawyer puts up all the money until they win. And if they lose, the lawyer said, well, that was my gamble. But if we win, I want a significant percentage.
If you win the case, but we are going to take a percentage. Now, how much is the percentage? Usually it's 30% if we can get the case resolved, if we can get it settled before we have to file a lawsuit. But if we have to file a lawsuit, then our percentage bumps up to 40. Now, there are no hard and fast rules. This is just in general what attorneys charge. So we know that Tony filed the lawsuit. So let's say that he's going to get 40%. If Gabby's total compensation is $33 million, then Tony's 40% is $13.3 million. How much does that leave Gabby? It leaves her with $20 million. That's right. The girl that you see on the screen has gotten a wire transfer for $20 million, in my opinion. Ask yourself, is she worth it? We'll stop for a second to point out that it's commonplace nowadays on social media to have this kind of gender war, this men against women. A lot of men are asking women, well, hey,
when it comes to money and women, there's just no war, man. They won the money war. There's no doubt about that.
What are you actually bringing to the table? A lot of men think women's standards are too high. These women say, I am the table. Don't take me out to the Cheesecake Factory. Take me to fine dining. Take me on trips first class. Buy me these $50,000 Birkin bags. The men are saying, well, why would I do that? You're not worth it. And the women say, yes, I am. And they point to this. These women say, you're crazy if you think that I'm not on par with Gabby. I'm a 10. If Gabby got $20 million, why can't I? These women look around and see these cases where men are paying so much money to, let's be honest, kind of average looking women. They say,
let me stop it right there. So I'm going to put the description to the rest of this in the thing so you can see the entirety of what the lead says. But you got the point here. Yeah, this chick ain't, she's not ugly and she ain't no 10, but she got a big duck in her, a big rich duck in her sights, and she quacked the hell out of that dude. And you know what? It serves him right. He's an idiot. At some point, man, you got to come in within your age of discernment when it comes to the sexual prowess of females. It doesn't matter how old they are. Once they're active and once they're out on the street, like this woman certainly was, you are subject to getting your ass kicked financially. And she won. Well, anyway, so let me leave you with my little musical missive to idiot men who need to grow up. And you know what? and excel and get their sexual discernment in order so they won't destroy themselves later in life. You know what I'm saying? Just a few words can help you out. All right. So here goes. And then after that, you could just end this thing.
When the lights dim low and desires ignite, a balance of respect in the heat of the night, knowing when to chase and when to refrain. Men must learn the wisdom and passion's sweet rain. Open up your mind before you open the door to your lust. Find the depth within to comprehend consequences thrust. It's more than a moment, it's a journey we take, with the heart as your compass, each choice that you make. Building a bridge from the body to mind, find the strength in the love, not to leave a bitter woman behind. Navigating the paths of attraction we face, understanding ourselves gives us the true grace. With every heartbeat, hold your ground with pride. In the dance of desire, let discernment be your guide. Seek the spark of the soul, let your spirit soar. In the tide of the flesh, find the strength not to hit it wrong. It's more than a moment, it's a journey we take, with the heart as your compass, each choice that you make. Building a bridge from the body to mind, find the strength in the love, not to leave a bitter woman behind. Let your mind lead the way before your soul. Oh, in the realm of desire, find a discerning effort to say no.
Like, share, and subscribe. Unique Sports Talk. Our pain here. Over and out.